ECO314 Study Session 4 Marketing Research Introduction. In this study session, we will examine the processes involved in marketing research. We will also discuss the attributes of a good marketing research, learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Define and use correctly the term research. 2. Explain marketing research. 3. Outline the processes involved in the marketing research. 4. Highlight the attributes of a sound marketing research. Defining research. The term research, as contained in Chineye 2006, is a systematic way of getting relevant data for the purpose of making valid postulation on an issue. It further maintained that it is a way of ensuring accuracy of premise in finding out remote causes of certain trends or developments and making suggestions and recommendations on how best to right wrongs and promote virtues in the interest of individuals or the society at large. On this path, Okonkwo 1992 sees research as a problem of finding out the solution to a problem. It typically provides answers to difficult questions, solve problems, and adds to the reservoirs of knowledge that could be utilized by posterity for addressing similar or related problems. Nwodu 2006 succinctly captured the definition of research as follows. Research, in essence, is all about probing why certain things happen or fail to happen in a particular way. It probes how or why one thing relates to another. The driving forces behind research exercise, therefore, are the curiosity and discipline without which a researcher may not come up with concrete replicable answer after his or her investigation. To the author, research entails advanced study of any particular issue in order to arrive at a dependable solution. By nature, research could be descriptive, explanatory, historical, theoretical, scientific, or even comparative. Research is also an organized, planned, and systemic finding method of solving an identified problem. Defining market research. According to Bosch and Houston 1985, marketing research is the systematic and objective search for and analyzing of information relevant to the identification and solution of marketing problems. It involves data gathering analysis and interpretation activities geared towards making the marketing tools more effective and result-oriented. It is a method of collecting data that are needed in attaining to a particular marketing problem or opportunity. Marketing research includes all advanced studies in the areas of advertising publicity, sales promotion, public relations, and so on. It helps in the planning, formulating, and execution of sound and dependable marketing decisions. Furthermore, Chioma 2005 opines that marketing research is the analysis of marketing to determine opportunities and challenges. Since the wants and needs of customers are constantly changing, marketing research tries to determine exactly what these needs and wants are at any particular time. It probes into the past demands of customers, the changes that have occurred in the economy and what these customers are likely to demand for the future. It helps the marketers to supply against hypothetical demands. Marketing research process. Existing studies in this area shows that there is no worldwide acknowledged process of marketing research. Different authors have at different times presented different processes. Some key steps among these processes have always been noted, and these steps will be discussed briefly below. 1. Problem identification. This entails making effort to understand exactly what the problem that is begging for attention actually is. As Arendt and Bowie's 1994 observed, good research on a wrong problem is a waste of effort. The researcher must identify the research problem, defining the underlying causes or areas of opportunities, and distinguishing symptoms from the problem itself. The task of problem identification must be done meticulously, because researching on the wrong problem will only amount to wasting the organization's hard-earned fund while the real problem lingers. 2. Formulating research objectives. Having understood what the real problem is, the researcher now goes on to formulate research objectives which must be tailored towards providing solutions to the identified problems. Objectives must flow from the problems identified. They serve as the driver that must take the researcher to his final destination. In other words, they provide guide to the study. Any researcher without objective is like a policeman carrying a gun without knowing where to shoot. Objectives could be descriptive, exploratory, or causal in nature. 3. Developing research approach or research design. This refers to developing a plan that will aid the researcher in gathering the data needed to bring solution to the already identified problem. It brings to mind the method that could be adopted in gathering the primary and secondary data. Primary data are the fresh information that never existed prior to the time of the research work, whereas the secondary data are information that already existed in books, journals, and archives. In addition, research methods could also be described as being quantitative or qualitative. It is quantitative when it deals with figures, that is, analyses and presentations of data in a statistical form, and qualitative when it makes use of words to explain and analyze in-depth responses or information gathered from the field. 4. Carrying out research properly. At this stage, the researcher, bearing the objective of the research in mind, goes into the field to execute the laid down research plan. The researcher endeavors to keep the laid down research approaches. He examines the information gathered so as to distinguish between valid and invalid responses, especially when questionnaire instruments have been adopted. 5. Analysis, interpretation, and presentation of findings. Here, the already gathered data is analyzed, interpreted, and presented in such a way that it will make sense to both the organization and the outside world. An honest interpretation of data collected can help the researcher find useful alternatives to specific marketing challenges. Qualities of a good marketing research. Any good marketing research must possess, if not all, some of the following qualities. 1. It must be systematic. This means that the research has to be done in accordance with the laid down plans. It equally means that research has to be thorough, efficient, and carried out in a determined way. 2. It must be objective in nature. This means that the researcher should not allow his personal feelings or opinions to influence the outcome of his research. 3. It must be valid. By being valid, we mean that the method of research adopted must be able to measure what it claims to measure. 4. It must be reliable. This means that the outcome of the research has to always remain the same, no matter how many times the researcher or another researcher replicate the methodology adopted, all other variables remaining constant. Summary. In this study session, you are exposed to a brief introduction of what marketing research entails, which serves as a justification for our interaction. Beyond these, we attempted the definition of research as was given by different scholars. Following these is the conceptual definition of marketing research. We also went further to elucidate on the marketing research processes. Lastly, we considered 4 qualities of a sound marketing research. This is the end of study session.